Hello everyone and welcome to Spa, and today, as the title suggests, I'm going to be teaching you how to master Spa on F1 22. So, getting straight into it, this is the longest lap time on F1 22. So, it's going to be absolutely critical to nail every single corner, every single sector. Coming up, imagine it was a qualifying lap, short shift to fourth, and you'll be turning as late as possible, straight line and traction, opening up DRS, coming down to turn one. So critical, get the traction and the braking in perfect harmony. What you want to do, there's a bit of dirt on the track. This is the perfect place to brake for turn one, and you'll be going all the way down to fourth gear. You can see the track actually falls away from you, so you have to turn in a bit earlier than you would expect because this gives a little bit of understeer. So now you'll be in fourth gear. Don't really want to kiss the inside curve here, but only go to the white line. But going to the white line, what this does is then you open up the exit and you'll be running all the track on the exit right up against the orange curb on the left hand side and right up against the track limits on the right hand side as well, keeping the car as straight as possible for maximum traction. And now you're firing yourself off into Eau Rouge, famous corner. Really critical in this game though, because you don't want to scope off any speed, and these little details are absolutely critical to lap time. So what you want to be doing now, as you can see, you're coming through the compression. You want to be turning as little as possible, but do not take the inside curb, because that actually can scrub off a little bit of speed. Take the inside curve here though, because that gives you less distance and it's worth it to do. Open up DRS. Now you're keeping the car in a straight line, flying down the straight all the way to the end of the first sector. What's critical here is on the left hand side, now start braking all the way on the curb. Now brake at the 50-meter board, down the gears, down into fifth gear for this first apex. Do not take any of the curb on the inside. It's going to unsettle the car massively. Short shift to sixth. Now using up all the curb on the inside. It's going to be super slippy, so you have to be careful with the throttle, but it's definitely worth doing. Keep the car in the middle of the road and bring the car as far left as possible, but you'll be in sixth gear at this moment and using up all the curb on the inside. You see it gets a little bit bumpy on the exit, so you have to be careful with the power. Use up all the road possible. Now here's a little trick you will see F1 Esports drivers do. Use up the curb on the left hand side. Make sure not to dip your tyres on the grass. But if you can get your car on this curve on the left-hand side, it's going to open up the track a little bit more and allow you to carry some more speed through this downhill, understeering apex. Keep it in fourth gear. Hug the curb up to fifth gear. You see now, you're in fifth gear. Now you're using up curb on the inside. And as you start to turn in, short shift to sixth and use up all the curb on the inside, but do not use the AstroTurf. The reason the short shift to sixth, though, is it's going to give you a little bit more stability in the middle of the corner. Use up all the road on the exit. Pull the car to the left-hand side. You do not want to be on the grass. Now, coming up to Pouhon, you're going to be using up all the road on the right-hand side. You'll be initially in 8th gear. Now you'll be lifting and down to 7th gear. You don't want to take the inside curb here, only the white line. Now hard back on the power. Use up all the road on the exit. Now hug the car to the inside for minimum distance possible. And now you're going to be coming down into the chicane. You see braking at the 50-meter board. And you'll be initially going down to fifth gear. Avoid the curb on the braking, in my opinion. But you want to be using up all the curb on the inside here. So now, in fifth gear, short shift to sixth again. Avoid the grass on the inside. But using a little bit of this curb on the inside just to rotate the car a little bit cheekily. Now using up all the road on the exit. As soon as the car's stable, bring the car over the left-hand side. Again, a little trick here is to be all the way on this curb. It's so difficult to nail. But if you can master it, you're going to gain a lot of lap time. But the little secret here is use up all the curb on the inside. Again, it's going to make the car a little bit slippery. But if you can short shift out of it, short shift to fifth, and use up all the road on the exit, that little bit of time gain is going to carry all the way down this back straight. Use up the curb on the exit. Now, do not use the curb on the entry there. And do not definitely use the curb on the exit here. Only can touch it. If you go like this, the car's actually going to bottom out at racing speed. And you might spin, but you're definitely going to lose lap time. Now, choosing the path of least distance. This is easily flat out come qualifying trims. Easy flat out. Now, what you're going to be doing is picking your braking zone for the bus stop chicane. Oh, so critical. Now, coming up to the 100-meter board. See, now, this is where you brake. And you're keeping the car in as much of a straight line as possible. Now, you'll be coming down. And there's a little bit of a bump here. Can you see it? I can. So let me just go down into nose cam. You can see there's a bump here in the track. And this is oh so difficult for the braking zone because it's so easy to lock the rear tires as you reach here. So be careful of that. Now you'll be braking as much in a straight line and avoid the curb on the inside here because it can unsettle the car. So now avoid the curb on the inside, but bring the car to the middle of the road to open up the final corner of the track in 4th gear. And again, there's a bump on the exit. Can you see it? Once I go to nose cam, you can definitely see it. You can see there's a little bump and undulation in the curb. The curb highlights it perfectly. But this can unsettle the car so quickly, give you wheel spin, and ruin your run up to the line. So now, you'll be coming out the final corner as straight as possible. Open up DRS and keep the car as straight as possible for minimum distance up to the line come quarterfinal trim. 2, be now jumping into the hot lap. So, you can see, getting the brake bias and differential settings made perfect. Through the right-hander, through the left-hander, opening up the steering wheel. Open up DRS, coming down to turn 1. Remember, spotting the dirt on the track for the braking zone. Down to 4th gear. Rotate the car in. Look for the best exit possible, using up all the road on the exit. Now keeping the car straight. Bring the car up to the right-hand side to be ready for Eau Rouge. Up to 7th. Up to 8th. Use the crest. Avoid the curb on the inside. Use the curb here, though, as it's going to give you less distance. Open up DRS as soon as possible. Through the right-hander. Down the straight. And now you'll be braking at the 50-meter board down to 5th gear. 50-meter board hard on the brake, down to 5th gear. Short shift to 6th. Use the curb on the inside. Be careful. Be patient. Bring the car to the middle. Use the curb on the right-hand side. Hard on the power user. Over the road. Now use the curb on the left-hand side. You see, jink the wheel out. Down to 4th gear. Looking for a late apex here. Short shift to 5th. Smooth on the power. Exit in the middle of the road. Come to the right. Short shift to 6th to keep the car stable. Use the curb on the inside. Hard on the power. Don't use the grass on the exit. Coming up to Pouon. Up to 8th gear. Down to 7th. So you kiss the white line hard on the power. Use up all the road. Now keep the car all the way to the inside here. And exit in the middle of the track. Braking at the 50-meter board down to 5th gear. Use up the curb on the inside to rotate. Again, short shift to 6th. Use up all the curb in the inside to rotate. Now bring the car over to the left-hand side down to 5th gear. Using up the curb on the inside. Short shift to 5th. Short shift to 6th, I mean, if you need to. But here we had enough traction, so we didn't need to. In racing stints or in lower grip conditions, it might need to be short shift to 6th there to maintain traction. But now, flat out again, coming up to the bus stop chicane. You can see now we're spotting our braking point nice and early. Looking for the 100-meter board. 100-meter board. Bang. Down to 4th gear. Avoid the curb on the inside. Exit in the middle. Now use up the left-hand side. Avoid the bump to get wheel spin in it. Go over the bump. Now apply the power. Open up DRS. And this is the lap of Spa. So, really difficult track to nail here, especially in racing situations, to manage the tyre wear and to make sure you get good traction out of these low-speed corners. But until next video, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the donuts, and I'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.